Good morning, Bix Weir, roota.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of coffee with chaga. Very interesting weekend, very interesting events going on. Um, it was released that JP Morgan's equities derivative department made 1.5 billion this quarter, or is up 1.5 billion. Let me get this straight, Jamie Dimon. We give you $4 trillion and you game that bailout. Had we not given you the 4 trillion, your company would be worth zero. If we were not giving you 1.8 trillion every single night in the repo market and the POMO market, if we have not bailed you out, the count is 1.8 something trillion since September 1st or September 11th, September 11th, very important date, 2019. Had we not given you that 1.8 trillion, you and your friends, your company would be worth zero. So you go to the taxpayer, you say, we need a bailout. You disguise it as a bailout for the people, and you give them, what, $700-800 each? And yet you game that market with your derivative book, and you make $1.5 billion, more than you made all last year. Does anybody see the hypocrisy here? Does anybody see a problem here? The world's most criminal bank is just robbing us blind. And here's the real kicker. They need another huge injection of money in mid-April. I guarantee you they're going to come back in mid-April. I told you they needed 20 trillion to kick the can down the road for another year. I've been saying that for how long now? 3 years. The next bailout will come and they're going to need another 20 trillion. They knew they couldn't ask for 20 trillion right off the bat. So they go in, they ask for 400 billion and they leverage that up to 4 trillion. And then they go on top of the game and steal another 1.5 billion in the derivatives market, like instantly. Does anybody but me see a problem here? JP Morgan's equity derivatives haul soars to $1.5 billion. Units traders keep showing up to field intense market swings. Despite advice, some have been working closely in recent days. Oh my God, they're disobeying the COVID orders. Revenue is swelling in a key part of JP Morgan's trading division as its teams stay engaged through violent price swings that have prompted some market players to pull back. The bank's equity derivatives traders have generated roughly 1.5 billion in revenue so far this year, according to a person with knowledge of the situation who asked not to be identified because the numbers are confidential. The numbers are confidential. I wonder why. That's almost what JP Morgan reported from all equities markets businesses in last year's first quarter, at least twice what that derivatives desk usually earns, people familiar with the bank's performance said. In a snapshot of the way the coronavirus crisis is shifting fortunes on Wall Street. It also shows the intensity of pace for employees who keep reporting to the office to navigate the turmoil. Some members of the derivative desk could be seen sitting closely together inside the bank's Manhattan offices late last week, despite pleas from public officials. Oh my God. There's Bloomberg, right? They're outraged that the employees are sitting right next to each other. They're not outraged that JP Morgan is gaming the bailouts. It's just so wrong. The bank spokesman declined to comment on the unit's earnings. Yeah, I bet. Quote, we have taken many precautions over the past weeks to spread traders out within floors and across buildings. And from what we've seen, they're adhering to social distancing guidelines. Are you missing the point, Bloomberg? They've made 1.5 billion extra on the bailout of themselves. They would not be in business if this bailout didn't pass. Remember, those of you on the road to Roota, on private road yesterday, I posted this. What happens after the third bailout? It's a year zero update number 6. Go check that out. That's a private road on the year zero updates. What happens after the third bailout? The third bailout is done. what happens after the third bailout. Anyway, JP Morgan controls the largest share of the market for equity derivatives, according to most recent coalition data from 2018. Well, all you have to go is to the OCC data. You can see how much their equity derivatives book is. Their total derivatives position, notional as they love to call it, $55 trillion. $55 trillion. What could go wrong when those notional turn into real derivatives, when counterparties start failing? This is insane. But this is all part of the road to roota. Remember what Roota wrote in the sand in the original comic book? On the road to the golden age formula. Print money to infinity, soaking up all the benefits of unbacked fiat money, building your roads, your bridges, your houses, your military. We've done that. We've done it all. And then what does Roota do? Crash the system, print money to infinity. Fortunately, I'm going to get the word out, and everybody else is going to get the word out who listens to this, that JP Morgan is gaming its own bailout. And then do you think they'll get bailed out again in mid-April? When people see the insanity that this is going to do nothing, $4 trillion was not enough? I'm going to show you something really cool. And he's back in my good graces. Donald Trump advertises for Bitcoin after Fed creates $6 trillion. He didn't advertise for Bitcoin. But what he did say is, hey, we're going road to roota all the way now. Intensify road to roota. When he said, quote, the beautiful thing about our country is $6.2 trillion because 2.2 trillion plus 4, that's 6.2 trillion. Because everybody's been saying the bailout's 2.2 trillion. And Trump's like, no, it's 6.2 trillion. He's bragging that he's creating infinity money. That's my guy. The faster we get this done with, there's no paying this off. I hope everybody recognizes that. The plan was never, ever, ever to pay off the debt. Name me one country that ever paid off their debt. The plan was to run it as long and hard as possible, soaking up all the benefits to infinity. Trump, bravo to you. Bravo. Telling people we are printing and we don't give a shit. You know why? Because we want to destroy the system. Why? Because we're the largest debtor nation in the world. The United States is the largest debtor nation in the world. Of course we're going to print to infinity and destroy the system. It's in the Road to Roota documents from the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. Go read it. Go watch the videos at the top of the roadtoroota.com website. It's all there. Bitcoin gained ironic support from the United States President Donald Trump on March 27th after he appeared to say he supported manipulating the dollar. Duh. In a press conference quoted by various Twitter commentators using Blockstream CSO Samson Mao, I like Samson, by the way, he's a good guy, Trump defended the Federal Reserve printing more than $6 trillion. Trump said, the dollar is our money, our currency. The beautiful thing about our country is 6.2 trillion because it is 2.2 plus 4 trillion. That's the fractional reserving that the Fed can just pump that up to right away to 4 trillion and hand that out to the banksters. It's 6.2 trillion and we can handle that easily because we are who we are. Not because people have trust and faith in the currency, but we are who we are. We're printing the money and screw you. And we rig the market so it doesn't matter. We can print as much money as we want. Because Congress keeps bailing us out and giving JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, the power to rig it even higher. 6 traders up on RICO charges for rigging the price of silver. This price of silver right here. You want to see the rig job? Go back 10 years. There it is. Right here. 22, 23 bucks right in here. The very beginning of 2011. What happens? What's his name? What's that guy's name? Daley. Bill Daley, who is on Jamie Dimon's SWAT team, as he called it, for JP Morgan, yes, of the Daley crime family of Chicago, gets placed as the chief of staff in Barack Obama's White House. Why? Only one reason, to rig the price of silver. They rigged it up to $50. They slammed it down and created an artificial bear market that still is in control today. 10 years later, they're still rigging the price of silver. Now it's Steve Mnuchin and his crowd. There's a computer trading floor in the basement of the U.S. Treasury. Mnuchin wakes up in the morning, clicks sell silver, click. Sell 1 billion ounces of silver, click. Sell 10 billion ounces of silver, click. Sell 500 billion ounces of silver in the last year, click. It's all computers and derivatives. That's how the price is determined. The CFTC is a joke. It is a pathetic joke. They keep coming out with statements how they're guarding the markets in these times of turmoil. You guys are a pathetic, pathetic joke. DOJ, you need to pull the trigger on that case you have pending. 6 JP Morgan traders up on RICO charges, including JP Morgan itself, being investigated for RICO charges, which is racketeering. 3 times the penalty of what was stolen. What was stolen? 1 billion ounces of physical silver, and I think it's 25 million ounces of gold. Physical gold. So they rig the price lower so they take the physical. We do the same thing. All us hodlers, we don't rig the price lower. We allow Jamie Dimon to rig the price lower, and then we take the physical and put it in our vaults. But we're not doing something illegal. We're just capitalizing on Jamie Dimon's criminality. Yes, $14.50. JB Dimon rigged it lower. It's time for you to go get your silver and take it off the exchange and keep it just like they're doing. Except they're going to go to jail. This is just disgusting right here. $1.5 billion in derivative trades that they instantly got because of their own bailout. They should be insolvent. There should be no such thing as JP Morgan. We bail them out. Bail them out every single night on the repo market. Now, the repo market is going away. As a matter of fact, reverse repos are going off the freaking charts. 200 billion, over 200 billion yesterday in reverse repos. Why? Because the Fed is paying more for the treasury bond underlying the repo. So everybody's pulling their treasury bonds and mortgage-backed securities out of the repo market and selling it directly to the Fed, who's paying a huge premium. Another stealth bailout for the banks. It is so embarrassing that our country does this. It's so embarrassing that anybody on Capitol Hill would approve this bailout. It's a joke. They are playing us like fools that we are. And they're going to do it again in April unless we stop them. We have to stop them. Spread the news out. JP Morgan makes $1.5 billion off their own bailout. What do they do with it? They rig the crypto markets. They rig the stock market. They rig the silver market. They rig every single market. That's what Steve Mnuchin's job was at the Goldman Sachs. He was head of IT. Head of computer trading for Goldman Sachs. Why is he at the U.S. Treasury? Because he's good at computer programming and rigging markets. That's the only thing he's good at. Buy your cryptos today. Another gift. They slam it down. I don't know how low. They can slam it to zero. They can. They can slam the price of silver to zero with the click of a mouse. It's that easy. You got to get your head out of these are manipulated market. Look at JP or Litecoin. Litecoin right here. $2.9 billion of Litecoin has traded in the last 24 hours. There's only been $2.4 billion worth of Litecoin ever mined in the history of Litecoin. It's a fraud, my friends. A huge fraud. And the biggest fraud is Tether and the people behind Tether. Deep state pedo cabal. Horrible. Horrible human beings. They need to be taken out especially. Will it cause havoc in the crypto market? I hope so. Because we got to get the pedos out. We got to get these deep state criminals out. That's the only problem with cryptocurrencies. It's so infested by the slime of the earth. Sorry, going off. Anyway, join the road to roota and watch the latest video. What happens after the third bailout? Third bailout just happened. Jamie Dimon is just loving life. Probably won't have a heart attack till next month. Another one. That's your Horn of Z's. Oh, by the way, go to the Road to Roota YouTube channel and check out the concert I gave yesterday. It's very fun. We had a great time. Thank you guys for joining in. throwing out your requests. I had a blast. Now, that video won't get much airtime because they hate playing music. Most of my videos get 10 or 15,000 views. They won't give that one 10 or 15,000 views. Music's way too powerful when you link it to freedom. And that's what we're doing at the Road to Roota. We're linking music to freedom. We're linking freedom right around the corner. Roota's plan is back on track. Thank you, Mr. Trump, for exposing that the bailout is much bigger than 2.2 trillion. And hopefully people will wake up and see that the bailouts are being gamed by JB Diamond and friends, and we won't offer them another bailout ever again. Ever again. But they're going to have to come back in April. So hang on to your hats. This is Bix. I'll talk to you guys later.